In his 2010 memoir, author, chef, documentarian, and entrepreneur Anthony Bourdain wrote the unforgettable line, "Luck is not a business model." Welcome to the EagleWorks podcast. I'm Michael Akins, director of EagleWorks and your podcast host. On this episode, we're putting pen to paper and organizing your great ideas into concrete, workable plans in order to help you succeed in the EagleWorks competition. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the business model canvas. So let's get started. So, what is a business model canvas exactly? And more importantly, why should an EagleWorks contestant utilize one?
Really, the business model canvas is to develop some initial answers of what should later become a full business plan. The business model canvas is simply based on this idea of you're still in experimental phase, you're still in search phase, and so you're trying to figure out, you have this idea, who is going to use it, literally who cares, how will they use it, when will they use it, what will they pay for it, are there enough people that care that it could become a business.
That's Jeff Brown. I spoke with him about the importance of the business model canvas over Zoom. Jeff is the president and CEO of the Biz Foundry, Cookeville's local entrepreneurship center. He works with small businesses and entrepreneurs every day, and he's a big fan of the business model canvas.
It's really just this idea of understanding who your idea is for. Does it need to exist? Does anybody care? So it's just really life-changing for entrepreneurs and innovators when they realize the concept. We had a very respected tech professor who went through the business model canvas. He said it changed his life. He totally changed how he thinks about what ideas he does research on. And so those are the kind of things we like to see, is that he gave a really good testimonial that was quite inspiring.
Jeff's experience with the business model canvas and working with entrepreneurs was the reason I spoke with him about this topic. Understanding the business model canvas is a fundamental necessity before you get to the competition and before you start your business. This one-page strategic management document outlines exactly the basics of what you have and what you don't. It's great if the idea is in your head, but the business model canvas is a tool dedicated to putting those ideas down on paper and making it official. Understanding what you have, what makes sense, and what you need is a jumping off point used by some of the world's biggest companies.
So the business model canvas kind of came out of some research done out of Silicon Valley. And the bigger, why do some startups make it and some don't? And it really turns out that the entrepreneurs that were really good at building companies did these things that are the parts of the business model canvas and didn't even know it. So it's just a down and dirty one-page organization of your idea. That part of what we've always taught people how to start a company or how to be innovative is to start doing accounting and renting buildings and all those things. And that's not the first part at all. The business model canvas is simply based on this idea of you're still in experimental phase, you're still in search phase, and so you're trying to figure out, you have this idea, who is going to use it, literally who cares, how will they use it, when will they use it, what will they pay for it, and are there enough people that care that it could become a business. So we want to introduce you to that really early on, even in a college competition, because what we do is we see a lot of people build solutions that are in search of a problem. And what we really want you to do is work on ideas that you understand the problem and you build a solution for an existing problem. That you get out of your own head and talk to people in the real world and others, because your mom and your boyfriend or girlfriend will always tell you it's a great idea. But how do we get out and prove that it's a good idea? So we use the term evidence-based entrepreneurship a lot, that it's not just you thinking it's a good idea. How do you prove it's a good idea?
Development of a business model canvas may seem daunting at first, but really, it's quite simple. The upcoming Business Model Canvas workshop will serve as a prime opportunity for you and your team to get hands-on experience with experts.
We're not going to go through the whole thing in any detail, so we're going to hit it kind of at 10,000 feet. But for the purpose of the EagleWorks competition, there's really about half of the business model canvas that comes into play. We don't need to get deep into the finances. We're just going to walk you through lightly is kind of this idea of who are your customers, what value do you provide for them, why do they want it, why will they use it, what problem does it solve, and how bad do they want that problem solved. So it's really innovative thinking as much as it is a business model.
I asked Jeff what advice he had for students coming into the competition.
I think it's the same advice that you give a lot of people about anything is, first off, don't get overwhelmed. It may sound like a lot, but everybody learns to do things by being bad at it at first. I don't care if it's calculus or learning how to play golf or learning how to fly a jet. You start out with little bits and pieces, and we use the term, you got to suck at it before you can be good at it. So what we want you to get in EagleWorks is just a little taste of it. You don't have time, you don't have the money, you don't have all those things to do a fully vetted business model canvas. But we want you to be exposed to that evidence-based search for ideas and innovation, that you're not creating an innovation that nobody will ever use. Because if it's never adopted, how innovative is it?
I've said that the Business Model Canvas is a tool for entrepreneurs to refine and better comprehend their idea. Putting the idea on paper forces our brains to legitimize it and consider all of the questions that we haven't yet asked. You may find that once you've completed the Business Model Canvas, you realize the idea is actually a lot bigger or more complex than it was in your head. This is normal and a welcome step to organizing your idea. Having questions continually prompts us to be more innovative and more strategic. So, if you find yourself with what seems like endless questions,
don't panic and ask for help. We have a whole organization here to help. You have a whole organization to help. The Tennessee Business Development Center has a whole organization to help. We have lots of tech professors that help with this. So don't get stuck and don't get trapped, right? Is ask for help, because usually just a few minutes of advice make all the difference in the world, because you're not supposed to know how to do this. Part of the reason to do the competition is for you to learn how to do it. And so when you get stuck or feel afraid or don't know the answer, reach out to one of us for help. We do this all the time.
The most helpful thing you can do at this stage in the competition is to attend the EagleWorks workshops and ask questions. Here are some opportunities for you to get those questions answered. Join us in person this Wednesday, February 17th at 5 p.m. in the Derryberry Auditorium for an interactive workshop to learn more about the Business Model Canvas. Social distancing and masks will be strictly enforced. You can also join virtually. The team's link is listed on the EagleWorks website. And finally, be sure to watch Tech Times on the website for the latest announcements. And follow us on Instagram. Our handle is @TNTechEagleWorks. Thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you haven't already, please share it with your friends and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, or wherever you get yours. For more information like contest details, full schedule, judging rubric, and FAQs, you can always visit tntech.edu/EagleWorks. This podcast is hosted and produced by me, Michael Akins, and developed by Tennessee Tech students. This episode was written and edited by David Gorchoff, with research and instructional design by Peyton Womack. Closed captioning support for our YouTube channel is provided by Kenzie Potter. Thanks for tuning in to the EagleWorks podcast. We'll see you at the workshop on Wednesday, and we'll be back next Monday with a new episode about the competition rubric.